Possessed. Hey guys, it's your favorite final girl and boy, Emily and Nick, with your favorite final baby, Mike. Coming at you with a new episode of Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly podcast where we dissect, disembowel, and the best and worst slasher movies. This is a special Friday Patreon episode, fan requested from our Patreon, John.
Hey, John. Put him in a body bag, Johnny. Yeah.
We're doing 1987's shot on Shitty-O movie, Lunch Meat.
Yummy.
He did tell me sorry, I think, before he sent me the movie. Depraved, blood-sucking cannibals who roam the San Bernardino Mountains in search of victims. That's not a sentence, but it made one. Paul and the boys, Benny, Elwood, and Harley, psychotic, meat-eating mutilators who get their kicks by ambushing young men and women, hunting them down and cold-bloodedly tearing their bodies apart.
You said cold-bloodedly?
Yeah.
That's not a word.
There's Harley, who gets his kicks by chopping off people's heads with his axe. Also, I'm just going to... Everything that's in all caps, I'm just going to yell it. There's Elwood, his younger brother, who likes to drill holes.
He likes candy.
In his victims with his pickaxe. Pa's favorite tool is his stainless steel machete. He gets his thrills by tracking his prey down, taking a couple of swipes with the machete to draw blood, and then likes to see them beg for mercy. He'll move in with a chuckle and chop them up into many pieces of blood-drenched meat and bones to be thrown into trash bags and taken down to the nearest greasy spoon to be sold as lunch meat.
Lunch meat.
Then there's Benny, deaf, dumb, and maniacal, with an insatiable thirst for human blood and raw flesh. Benny does his best work with a shovel. 1987. Your thoughts?
What more could I say?
No, I don't think there's anything else you can be said.
Some people made this movie.
This movie was...
Some people made this movie.
Movie,
I
look
think
at the
that's
front
pretty
of it.
much the best way you can...
It's Paw.
Number 1 B horror movie. It says that on the fucking front of the box.
I like how much time...
Who said that?
I like how much time they spent with the family.
That's not a quote.
Yeah.
Someone just put that there. It is not the number 1 B horror movie. But...
It's not an A horror movie.
It was a movie that someone made. And...
Kirk Alex.
Was put into distribution. It's the only movie he's ever done, written and produced. It's a movie they made. And... Kim McCamey.
They finished it, man. That takes a lot of...
They finished it. They started it. They started the movie. They had actors in it.
There's some stuff in here I like.
Kim McCamey, a.k.a. Ashlyn Gear, as her poor name, who was also in Evil Laugh and Dream Maniac, and I love Evil Laugh, and I do like her character in Dream Maniac, is in this movie. You wouldn't know it, though, because you can't tell what anyone fucking looks like. Their faces are all blurry because the fucking quality was so fucking bad. Me too, but that's the only place
you can... If you have a VHS, maybe it looks better.
Well, there's two different versions on... Anyway, whatever. Get us going.
Okay. I thought it was a pretty bitchin' theme and throughout.
Oh, no,
there were a couple times the music was
good. And it wasn't... What's funny is the guy that played Benny is an actual... Like, I'll go into it a little bit, but he was a musician in real life. But he didn't do the music for this. No.
Okay.
But
in
the
real
music
life?
was...
Big band.
He has a Wikipedia page.
Oh.
Yeah. And one other guy was this Canadian fucking guy. I'll talk about it, but this movie was not made in Canada. I think we just watched this fucking. This is another copy, and I think we should have watched that one.
Oh shit! This one looks way better.
Not that much, actually.
Also blown up on a TV, you know.
Nah, I mean it's bad.
So there's somebody running through a stream. It's Benny, and he's got a cage with a chicken in it. He's grunting a lot.
I had no idea what he had in his hand, so I'm glad you figured that out.
It was a chicken.
Okay.
He doesn't have the cage at this point. Later on, he's running with a chicken cage. But Big boy's running with a chicken. He's chased by his two brothers.
Elwood and Harley.
And they're chasing him from behind, but in front of him, there's an old man named Pa, and he's scared
That's
of the
his
old
real
man.
name, too.
It's important. He's afraid of this old man, and the old man starts whipping him, which is probably why he's afraid of him. And then they all like give him a boot party.
A boob party.
They take when you
Boob.
boot.
Oh, I thought you said a boob party.
Is when several people are kicking
hurting
somebody.
someone.
I thought you said boob party. Just so everyone has their
I don't
boobs
get
out.
invited
It's quite
to those
different.
gatherings.
I've been to the boot party. I haven't been to the boot party.
The boot parties are much different than boot parties.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And what are those things called in China that they do?
Binding?
Something sessions. They call them like.
Talking about foot binding?
No, they call them like something sessions where everyone yells at you.
I have no idea what
the
you're talking
2
about.
minutes of hate.
They're called something sessions.
The mandatory 2 minutes of hate. That's not in China.
No, I know that's not what I'm talking about. So
After they get back to the house, they put the chicken back up, tie up Benny, and his dad calls him a mad dog with shit for brains. And he calls him that a couple times in this movie. Then we see the two brothers, Elwood and
struggle
Harley.
session. It's called a struggle session. They're rallies where violent public spectacles in Maoist China where people accused of being class enemies were publicly humiliated, accused, beaten, and tortured by people with whom they were close.
They like brush their teeth in front of everybody and stuff.
But yeah, that's it. They have to brush their teeth in front of people.
Shit.
We see,
Well, apparently we do find out that Paul does care about dental health later on. So,
yeah. We see that.
we don't see any actual evidence that he cares about
He
dental
loses
health,
some teeth.
but he says he does later. So,
Well, there's two brothers, Harley and Elwood, the less retarded.
don't say that word.
No, the less
mentally disabled. Benny is the most mentally disabled.
Elwood's the next step up.
Is kind of a step up from there, and Harley's is the less.
As far as a murderer who sells meat to a deli.
At one deli in town.
For money.
So
Bodies for money.
They are making a run to Hollywood. And then
To
we
Hollywood.
see there's the Hollywood sign in the background.
I didn't see that. So.
Well, then we get to the kids in the
Okay.
Jeep. In the side of the Jeep,
They're singing "Row, row, row your boat." By the way,
we've got Eddie, Carrie,
Frank,
Debbie,
Sue.
Sue, and Roxy,
Yeah,
the babe.
Roxy.
Roxy's the one that's played by Kim McCamey, aka Ashley Gear.
They're going to Mount Edgar for the weekend, where Carrie.
It's not Carrie's. It's Frank's cabin. It's Eddie's dad's cabin.
It's Carrie the rich guy's
It's Carrie's
cabin.
Jeep. It's either.
But Carrie's the one that says, "I know the way, and this is not the way we need to
it's
turn
not.
around."
That's either Eddie or Frank. I think it's Eddie.
John, tell her she's wrong later.
Okay, well, don't, because it's a Carrie's Jeep. He said, as long as I provided the Jeep, y'all were supposed to like take care of everything else. And it's Eddie. I think it's Eddie's dad's cabin.
Roxy's
He's the one
not into
driving.
this. Roxy wants to go home. Carrie is being a creep.
Well, she just wants to go. They're
there's one
halfway
highlight.
there, and Carrie calls Debbie a bimbo. So then Roxy's like, turn this car around. I'm like, what the fuck? Just because he called her a bimbo. Like, she was like, we can't. You were an asshole in high school. And I was like, an asshole in high school when like 15 years ago? No, they're supposed to be high school seniors, but they look like they're 35 to 40 years old.
That's how it goes.
Not this bad.
Everybody looked older in 1987.
This is like very next level of like age.
Well, they decide there's
Shit.
one high life left. They're going to pass it around.
Full-blown age.
Carrie notices nobody
age.
brought the lunch meat.
Yeah, one
He's
of them
like, "What
says
the
he
hell,
wants
guys?"
food, and they're like, he goes, how the hell am I supposed to make a sandwich without lunch meat?
Aw.
Like, oh, way to fucking put the title of the movie in the opening scene of you. He says it like 3 times.
Well, then they run out of gas and have to
Dude,
push
I
the
made
Jeep.
a crouton sandwich.
I bet. What
that's
about
some bitch-ass
what about
shit.
fucking a grilled cheese sandwich or just a cheese sandwich?
Well, I
What
bet he
about
didn't bring-
no,
what
no,
about
no, no.
peanut?
There's no
What about
cheese
peanut
either.
butter
No, no,
sandwiches?
no. I've had nothing but croutons and 2 slices.
No,
of
I'm just
bread.
saying you don't
No
have.
dressing.
I'm just saying.
But, dude, that's a bread on bread.
Yeah, that is a bread on bread.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying you
Thought you
don't
were
have to
some
have.
kind of
But like one
That's
is
not my
toasted
point.
and garlicky.
No, my point is you don't have to have deli meat. You can make a
I
peanut butter
only have-
sandwich. You can make a cheese sandwich.
You can make anything sandwich.
Oh, I finally, listen, I haven't done it yet, but I finally got some cream cheese and 2 cucumbers so I could make some cucumber and cream cheese.
Oh, shit.
Sandwiches.
Don't forget the black pepper.
I haven't done it yet. I don't like black pepper.
You have to.
Okay, child. You're a child.
I am kind of.
So they push the Jeep to Wilbur's world famous barbecue joint, and Debbie's a punk rocker. There's Sue, and she's like,
also a bimbo,
she's in love with Eddie.
Yeah.
And then Carrie buys them all a drink.
Well, no, they're dating. Sue and Eddie are together.
Sue and Eddie are together.
They're trying to get Frank and Roxy together. Yeah.
So Harley and Elwood pull up, and they peep these.
Well, they're going
kids.
to. They've gone there to sell meat that they have.
Yeah.
And then they see this
Well,
group
there's like
of people.
staring out the window, and like one
they're staring at each other for a lengthy amount of time.
Those guys are gross.
Well, they're talking too about the fact that they're staring at each other. Like both groups talk about how they're staring at each other.
Yeah.
And it's like we see
I can't
it.
see,
Like
get out of why. That's my brother.
Also,
that's my Elwood impression.
Also, by the way, Elwood had to pee the whole.
Okay,
What?
yeah, hold on now. The bros start delivering the meat.
Well, before they
and then
see that,
the girls go to the bathroom, and Elwood like does a pull up onto this pole.
But Elwood talked about having to pee like 45 times on the way there. He said, "You need to stop. I have to pee."
I thought he was talking about candy.
No, he was talking about both. He said, "I have to pee and I'm hungry for candy bars."
So he gets up on this pole, and he just pisses himself while he's up on the pole. And the
even though he
just,
was
like,
at a place where he could go fucking pee.
He could just like taken down out his dick and pissed, you know? He like is hanging from this pole, peeing on himself, and it's just like dribbling down.
It's really fucking weird.
Mitchell was in the room.
If
He's
you
like,
can
what the
see
fuck?
it, you could barely see it happening, but yeah.
But he ends up rubbing dirt on the pee. That makes it all better. So Carrie and Eddie, Carrie and Eddie or Frank, I think it's Eddie, get in a fight, and then Frank breaks it up because they're
Frank gets in a fight, and then Eddie breaks it up.
Then the food comes, and there's like 3 minutes of these kids like eating. And there's this smacking sound of like.
And you said all of them looked like they were grossed out by it.
I thought it looked like they were like, this is weird, but unpleasant.
I thought only one guy looked like he was not liking it.
Not so much not liking, but like wondering what kind of deli meat is
one guy definitely did not like it.
I thought Debbie. She was like, oh, food.
Well, I couldn't really see their faces that well, but also.
And then she took one bite and was just like.
Also, I realized I was watching them eat lunch in real time.
Are you dressing a doll right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, smacking sounds. The bros Harley starts yelling at Elwood for pissing.
Yeah, he says you pissed your pants. He's like, it's just water. And he's like, no, it's not.
And then we go to Pa beating the shit out of Benny. He's like got him tied to a tree and whipping him
for no reason.
And Harley and Elwood come back with a bunch of money, and
not a fun. I think isn't Paul mad that they didn't get enough?
Boys, and
he said it. I thought he said they didn't do that.
More than
I thought he said you didn't do that good. Like they didn't do as good as he thought.
He said you did good, boys. And Harley's like, I think we're going to do even better. And he's got a plan.
Because they had peeped out these people.
So they set a detour sign, a fake detour sign, to make these kids go down the road they want them to.
Yeah, this maybe, by the way, just side note, it was like totally. This guy had watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre and 2000 Maniacs.
Oh, this is actual trivia?
That's what it felt like. The whole detour thing.
I thought the family, how they interacted, like each one had a different... But the detour,
moving the sign, that's a move from 2000 Maniacs. So I just felt like it was just a hodgepodge of like Hills Have Eyes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and 2000 Maniacs, but not good.
Yeah.
Just like
they start singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat again.
Yeah, they sing that song 4 different times.
Like, this is going to be easy pickings.
They never sing it on beat either, and they're not doing the thing where, you start singing it, then the next person starts singing it. They don't do it like,
it's not in the round.
They don't do a round of it. They're just singing it at different times.
Row, row your boat gently down the stream.
And then, like, off beat completely.
Merrily, 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 merrily.
And one of the girls doesn't have... One of the girls has the worst voice I've ever heard. She's always like way off key.
Is that
I don't know which one Debbie. It is. It's just one of them.
Pretty sure that's Debbie. So they
probably because
go down the detour road until we know it's Big Benny, the nonverbal
Benny.
brother. He's laying there like he's dead.
Big Ben.
And Frank,
Like he's
I'm sorry.
dead. You know he does that.
It's actually Big Ben, like the Big Ben.
he's just laying there in the middle of the road, and Eddie's like, I'm gonna check this out. But Eddie is like, hey, he's still alive, and
As soon as
Benny
he says
immediately
that.
stabs Eddie and then starts to rip out his throat and eat it. Mm-hmm. And Elwood and Harley pop out. Elwood, as mentioned on the box, with a pickaxe, and Harley has an axe he's brandishing. Harley beheads Debbie. Elwood gets beaten up at first, but he does get his pickaxe into Frank's foot. So Frank is going to be limping.
Frank's reliving the rest of the movie. Unfortunately, he's in the rest of it until the very end.
Then Pa comes and
never got to fuck Roxy.
he gets the rope on Benny, ties him in the truck. So then Carrie's with Sue. And he slaps some sense into her because she's like, I can't leave Eddie. He's like,
yeah, I didn't know if it was Sue or
Get
Debbie.
on
I
with
couldn't
it.
tell. And then I was like, I think that actually might be Sue because she was like screaming about Eddie.
Then we see Benny eating some more human flesh raw, and the family starts going through the girls' purses. There's a picture of Debbie laying
They
next to
put
her,
a picture of Debbie.
next to the doll head. It's really bad.
Next to her decapitated head was a photo of her, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
So there is some editing issues here. Like sometimes Paul, you think he's in one place, but they did a bad edit and he's somewhere else.
Maybe he can just move.
So
'cause
Paul's
he's a
driving
shapeshifter.
with Benny, right? And Benny's in the back eating the meat, and it looks like a rag at some point. And then we're back at the farm, or wherever these fucking cannibals live.
They're in
and
the
there's a chicken
mountains.
pecking on a human hand. And then Benny takes the hand from the chicken. And then Benny's eating the leg, and his dad's like, give me that leg. And he ties him to a tree and whips him again.
Yeah, he whips him real bad that
Then we
time.
see Frank and Roxy kind of resting, and she puts a bandage, takes off his shoe and puts a bandage on his foot. I think the shoe would have been better because there's just going to be more twigs and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't a good move.
And then Harley's coming after him with an axe, and the family's hunting basically at this point. It's time for all the chasing. Sue collapses with grief because Eddie's dead. Oh, Carrie is like, come on, bitch.
I was kind of like, thank
Again.
God, get rid of her. I'm really done listening to her bullshit, honestly.
Then there's some running where there's the shakiest shaky cam that I've ever seen. Sue falls and the paw's on top of her. He it looks like he's spanking her with the flat edge of the
but
machete.
I think it's the machete, but it doesn't look like he's stabbing her with it.
Yeah, you
at
see
all.
her body, and they didn't have a lot of money. You know, they did what they could.
I don't really know.
So
I don't know what could have been done here. It's, I mean,
I don't know what could have been
they've
done.
already
it's so bizarrely bad.
they've already staked Frank's foot with the pickaxe, but at this point, Elwood then hits Carrie in the foot with the pickaxe,
Again.
and it gets stuck. So
It's really good. I'm
Carrie
sorry.
manages to pull the pickaxe out of his own leg and stumbles away with it. And then Elwood's just like, I guess he got hit with something because he's walking like a zombie for like 30 seconds of zombie walk Elwood. But then Carrie hits him in the throat with the pickaxe. We see Sue's body with its wounds. Pa comes up and kills Carrie by the throwing knife or something.
Or
He's
a
just
I
like,
think it's I mean, I thought it was a hammer. I couldn't tell what it was. So.
I'm pretty sure it never showed.
Yeah, you're probably you seem to be on point more than I was. So
He doesn't believe that Elwood's dead at first, but there's a fucking pickaxe sticking out of him.
Yeah.
So finally he's like, oh. He's really upset. I thought it was sweet how upset the dad was. That
his son was fucking dead. Yeah,
So-
it's bizarre.
He starts hacking at Carrie's corpse with his machete because he's sad. It's totally understandable. Then Roxy and Frank, Harley finds his shoe and starts following the blood trail. Then Harley is taking a piss. And Pa tells Harley about Elwood being dead. And he's like, what? There were only 2 of them.
Yeah.
And
he said it was his fault because he only had 2. So, like, he deserved
he got sloppy.
it. And then he was like, well, you know what? By the way.
So he's talking to his dad.
Yeah, he says, by the way, also, you never bought him a candy bar. And then Pa's like, well, you know what? Because I care about his teeth. Like, his teeth were going to fall. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? None of y'all have fucking teeth.
So Roxy and Frank are climbing, even though he's hurt. But Harley attacks him. But Frank cuts him in the face. And he falls down and then he chases him more.
In the face.
But then Frank stabs Harley in the goddamn heart.
Like, there's a lot of all caps talking in general for this movie.
It's unintelligible. But the score's good.
The score is good, but you can't tell what the fuck anyone's saying half the time.
At this point, he stabs Harley in the chest. Like in the heart, the left side of the chest. Upper body mass,
chest.
So Harley's still stumbling after him, and there's a stumble chase because this dude has a hurt foot, and that guy's got a fucking knife in his heart. And
so stupid. This is so stupid.
And somehow they see the dad's truck, even though the dad was just with Harley. We don't know where the dad is. And Frank's like, I'm gonna go fucking hotwire that truck, and he leaves Roxy there. He's trying to start the truck, right? The truck won't start. So then Roxy runs from Harley.
Go figure.
Harley chases Frank, but they're both engines, so it's really slow, and there's a lot of just walking. But then, so he couldn't hotwire the car. The next scene is the dad driving. He catches Benny, who's been stealing chickens again. He stops the car and takes a piece out of the car. Like, that was supposed to happen before the hot wiring scene.
Yeah.
It got completely edited wrong, which I thought was cute, but...
You thought it was cute.
In a way.
No.
But then we see...
Wrong. I don't know.
Pa is chasing Benny, but Roxy's resting. Blood starts dripping all over her face. Oh no, it's Sue. She's in a tree. She's tied in a tree. Yeah. And Pa attacks, but she gets away. And then when she's getting away, she kicks the dad in the mouth, and he starts spitting out teeth. They were probably just holding on by a thread. And he's like, Harley!
One by one.
Yeah, except for he really cares about dental health, so... He starts
hollering for Harley, but Frank hears it. And then Harley hears it, and they're playing Marco Polo. And Frank climbs a tree with a grappling hook that he found.
None of this makes any fucking sense.
This is when Harley finds Elwood, but then Frank stabs him with a hook. It ties him to a tree and just hops down on his hurt foot, and he hits his ribs and starts puking. And Harley is this guy that can't die. He's been stabbed in the heart and has a grappling hook in the other part of his chest, but he just cuts the rope and he's not tied to the tree anymore.
I didn't understand. I was like, how many times do I have to watch this person die?
So at this point, Frank gets the pickaxe out of Elwood's throat and kills the shit out of Harley while Pa's chasing Roxy under the truck. And then he starts, it's like 2 minutes, legitimately 2 minutes of him like going to one side of the truck, trying to poke at her with a machete. She rolls to the other side. He runs over to the other side. I'm going to get you. Stop rolling around.
Yeah, it's in real time.
It's in real time. Like, he goes to the opposite side of the truck like 3 or 4 times trying to machete her. But...
Pretty cool.
I thought it was alright.
I didn't. Okay, that's fine. It's okay.
Frank finally shows up and he's holding Harley's head up, and the Pa leaves her under the truck and starts chasing hobbled Frank. So now it's an old man chasing the man who's had a pickaxe through his foot. So it's still this slow ass chase.
So everything that has been happening has been like a chase in real time. Like it's so fucking.
Frank makes some kind of trap with a rope, and the dad sees the trap and he's like, "What do you think I am,
You mean
stupid?"
when he's up in the tree?
No, this is like he has a rope and it looks like he's making a trap, but then he just ends up throwing the head at the dad again, and the dad falls down and Frank stabs him and we think kills him, but he goes to Roxy. She's afraid of him, and then she starts maniacally laughing like she's losing her match.
Absolutely zero sense.
And as Frank is trying to get Roxy to come out from. She's like a cat, like a homeless cat that you like got trapped under a porch.
You mean a feral cat, not a homeless cat? A homeless cat.
A homeless cat.
That would be any cat that doesn't.
Yeah.
I think you mean feral.
Well, no. Homeless cats ask for money.
The homeless cats down the old city.
No. They're like, hey man, can you help me out tonight?
That is true. They can talk. That's the difference. Is they can talk and ask you for money.
They go.
So as Frank is trying to get this crazy bitch to come out from under the truck,
and then they like express their anal glands on you because they haven't been fixed.
Well, that's after you give them the money.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. No.
Well,
it's the troll toll.
No, it is what it is. You're marked.
While he's trying to coax Roxy out from under the truck, Pa comes up from behind with a rock and drops it on Frank's head.
Can you go back and not say dropped because he lightly
tosses.
Just loses grip of a rock
It's
and
like
somehow
he flicked it with his thumb up into the air.
Yeah, like it doesn't even fall hard. He doesn't throw it on him. It's just like
it's a big rock. It could kill a person.
It could if you threw it at somebody, but not the way that he dropped it.
He's old. His name is fucking Paw with a W at the end.
Why is he in this movie?
He's the dad.
I mean, but like,
he's
why?
The Papa Juke.
I still think he shouldn't have been.
He's the Sawyer.
I think that I hated this.
I mean,
so I don't really know what else.
He's the Drayton Sawyer, man.
Oh God, Drayton is the older brother, though.
I know, but he's a father figure. When I was a kid, I thought he was their dad.
Well, you were wrong.
Yeah, I know. I was 10, bitch. Leave me alone.
I was 7, and I knew that was their brother.
So he deposits the rock.
Wrong.
I was right. He was wrong.
He deposits the rock onto the head of Frank.
Deposits.
Benny shows up, and Paul's like, "Get that girl out from underneath the truck."
He just said deposits.
But Benny gets a shovel. You think he's going to attack Roxy, but instead he starts beating the shit out of his dad, and he has flashbacks of the whipping.
He's having flashbacks of the whipping because I thought at first that he was shoveling Roxy or shoveling Frank more.
Well, he starts really looking like he's digging a hole, but he's really just cutting his dad's head off with a shovel.
Yeah, that part actually looked cool.
Yeah, it was the best effect in this.
Yeah,
this is a turkey.
Yeah, this movie.
He goes after he decapitates his dad. He starts chasing Roxy, but he's still holding the chicken and a shovel. It's like, how did the chicken cross the road with Benny and a shovel?
No.
They run in the road, and it's totally wannabe Texas Chainsaw Massacre moment. But 4 cars go past, and
oh my God, that Mazda!
Finally, one of them stops, and the guy gets a gun, but you never hear a gunshot.
No.
Roxy's running, and then she stops running. She's stumbling down the road, and the credits roll.
Oh, the end.
Fiend.
Yeah, okay.
Fiend.
Right. So we have a kill count here, which was hard for me to write. There's where the notes I took. Anyway, one is Eddie. He's stabbed and his throat's ripped out by Benny at 29 minutes. Debbie is decapitated by Harley at 30 minutes. Sue is beaten to death or macheted to death by Paul. But it doesn't show any blood. It does show blood later. It shows blood later.
Badly.
But it just looks like she got beat with it though at first. At 46 minutes. Elwood is killed with a pickaxe by Carrie at 49 minutes. Carrie ended up being a lot more use than you thought he was going to be.
Sue would have died a lot sooner if he hadn't slapped the shit out of her.
I know. And then, so Carrie dies. He is by a hammer or a knife thrown at his head by Paul at 49 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's 30 seconds after Elwood. Then 6 is Harley. He's hung by Frank at an hour and 14 minutes, but he cuts himself down. And then he's beaten to death by Frank at 1 hour and 16 minutes.
Frank takes the pickaxe out of Elwood's. That's what Harley gets killed with.
I thought he was just beat to death.
No, he's wailing with the pickaxe, and that's probably why Roxy's afraid, because she kind of walks up. She's like, "Don't hurt me! Don't hurt me!"
And then Frank. So 7 is Frank, and he has a rock, very lightly dropped on his head by Paul.
Why'd I put this rock
at
on
an hour and 21 minutes, and then Paul, it is the 8th death. Benny decapitates him with a shovel, but also stabs him a shit ton with the shovel before that at an hour and 22 minutes.
Benny's unhinged.
And then the movie is an hour and 28 minutes. This movie could have been 40 minutes. There is about 40 minutes of just them running around, like Roxy and Frank. I don't have much trivia on this, obviously, but now, like I said before, Kim McCamey, aka Ashlyn Gear, played Roxy. She was also in Evil Laugh, which is my favorite slasher, as well as Dream Maniac, and she's done a shit ton of porn.
She's in Creepazoid.
Quote, last starring role for Kim McCamey, who had a small role in Angel 3, the final chapter, the next year, and then became an adult actress, Ashlyn Gear, in 1990, after being discovered by a penthouse photographer. Before that, she always refused to film nude scenes.
She was like, fuck it.
In Evil Laugh, she's the final girl in Evil Laugh, and she's like they're all they're all in medical school. They rent this house, or one of them's buying the house to turn it into an orphanage or something, but they're all med students. She's like a dermatology person, and she's really smart, and she's like a final girl and very like
good at it.
Shocking that she became a porn actress.
This movie.
The director wrote, directed, and produced it, and this is the only thing he ever did, which makes sense. Benny is a musician. His name is Chuck Ellis, but he didn't do the music for this movie. He does have a Wikipedia page.
Because of Blood Hunter.
Bob Joseph, he played Eddie. I'm not going to be able to pronounce a lot of this. Is Bob Joseph. Okay, so...
The Bob Joseph?
He's a member of the Gwawa-Inuk Nation. And is a hereditary chief of the Gyaxala clan.
Dude.
Joseph is the founder and president of Indigenous Corporate Training Incorporated, an indigenous relations firm. He has been an associate professor at Royal Roads University and a guest lecturer at other academic institutions. The Gwawanuk tribe, or whatever, is a First Nations band government of the Kwawakawa people located in the Queen Charlotte Strait region of the Central Coast region of British Columbia in Canada.
Is this movie Canadian?
This movie is not Canadian. The tribe has no year-round road access to a service center, and being about 160 kilometers, 220 kilometers from the nearest service center. First Nation numbers 627 and 39 members. It is one of about 175 Aboriginal
wrote this with his kilometers.
Aboriginal communities in Canada that is off the grid. As of 2012, about half of the tribe speaks the Kwakwala language. The tribe's dialect is called Gwakenuk, which I thought was interesting.
That's fascinating.
Because when I looked at the Wikipedia for this, because it found it does have a Wikipedia page, which is shocking because there are movies that are better than this that don't have one.
Yeah.
But like when it showed the cast, there were 3 people that you could click on their name, and it was Kim McCamey, the guy that played Benny, who was a musician, and then this guy who is the head of this Aboriginal tribe in Canada. Just like
we call them Native Americans here. They call them First Nations in Canada.
Is that what? Okay, so I figured that's what it was, but Chuck Ellis, that's the guy that played Benny.
Benny, the big boy.
I don't think that's not the same guy, but
there's more than one Chuck Ellis.
Yeah, I know, shocking. Here we go. Okay, yeah. He was born in... Okay, I don't think... They fucked this up, so never mind. This is not the same person, because this guy was born in 1985.
Sue was
so they just fucked up on that.
Sue is the friend in Hack-A-Lantern.
Oh, yeah. The girl that plays Sue, you can't really see her face at all.
The one that's flirting with the brother.
Yes.
Wait, don't they fuck in the graveyard?
No, they don't. No one has sex in this movie.
And Hack-A-Lantern.
Yeah. That fucks the police cop.
Yeah.
The brother. Yeah.
Police cop. That's cute.
Yeah, the police cop brother that is also a Satanist at the end.
PC police.
Yeah. No. She's
Police
Beth. She's
police.
the hot sister. She's a sister's hot friend in Hack-A-Lantern. And that's it. So, what do you rate this, Nick?
I'm gonna rate this a whole half.
I'm gonna give it like 0.25.
I'm going one. But I like the family. Let's go 1.25.
Wes, you can. I mean, I'm not going to.
1.25. I was entertained when that dude was hanging on that fucking pole pissing on himself.
I mean,
I wish they'd gotten it in more with the deli stuff. I want to see like
because
the butcher.
since the point of the movie is called Lunch Meat, and the point is that this family sells bodies to this deli, to this restaurant, mom and pop restaurant, and that's like where the title comes from. You would think that, like, I don't know, it might have more
Wilbur's.
of that in the movie, but it's really only exposition.
Wilbur's Revenge.
But Benny's Revenge.
Benny. Wait, no.
He could have been. He
Wilbur
looks like a
ran
Bubba.
Wilbur's was the name of the restaurant.
Wait, what was it called?
I think it's Wilbur's. This bird with the crystal blue.
I would love to see Benny, again in real life. I don't know.
Hit her up, Benny.
Yeah, Wilbur's world famous.
World famous is a stretch.
Yeah,
I'm going to go out on a limb with that.
How come I've never heard of it?
Benny, slip into her DMs. Slide in there.
Stay gagged on some barbecue or human meat or whatever.
Yeah, stay gagged on a whole ass living chicken.
Head cheese, baby.
Everybody's staying gagged on the sodium. Sodium's in everything.
I love sodium.
It's bad for you.
Yes.
Guys,
yeah. Everything
sodium.
Everything that's good is bad for you.
I'm working on my blood pressure.
We're living on a new edge.
Did you go to? We did go to the doctor. And got
I went to the doctor and they told me.
Mine's like very normal, which is weird.
For the first time ever, I was like, yes, I would like to quit smoking, and they didn't try to. They didn't.
It's
like I marked it on the fucking paper. It's like, do you smoke? How much? Do you want to quit?
Oh, I would lie.
I was like a pack and a quarter.
I always lie because there's like certain medicines.
Do you want to join the Church of Scientology?
Oh, really? Yeah. They will give it to you. They will give you birth control if you say you smoke. Because there's like a chance of blood clots and stuff, and I'm like, or like, also I would rather just not get pregnant, so I'm just gonna lie and say I don't smoke.
What if you got a blood clot?
Mike would like it.
Then I would just die.
I knew a lady that died from blood clots.
Okay, well, it might be me next. Who knows? But stay gagged on blood clots too.
Blood clot. Blood clot.
And stay gagged
on all of our socials and
Katie. Stay gagged on Katie.
Stay gagged on Quaaludes. Send them in.
Yeah, we haven't asked for those in a while. Stay gagged on John, our newest Patreon member, who asked us to do this movie and did apologize. And to his credit, did apologize beforehand. Except for actually, he wanted us to do something else, which I could not find anywhere. And so he was like, "Well, if not that, then this." He was like, "They're both shitty."
There's a lot of jokes in what you just said.
Well, tell him.
You just said he wanted us to do some stuff we couldn't find anywhere.
I wish.
Yeah, all right. John, keep it clean, brother.
Thank you so much.
And stay gagged on all our social media, Instagram, TikTok, Gag Me With a Knife Podcast, Twitter, Gag Knife Pod. Become a Patreon for member shoutouts, early access to episodes, bonus exclusive episodes, and fan requested episodes, much like this one. And
yeah, you could pick a movie for us to watch.
Can do that. And pick whatever a horror movie. But also buy our merch at gagwiththeknifepodcast.com. We'll see you later in our last action slasher.
Class of 1984.
What is that movie? Wait, what's the commercial? It's like da, da, da.
Last action.
No, the game. It's a game.
Crossfire.
No, that was a board game.
I know. I'll say what was the song that went with the commercial? Like Crossfire, right?
Crossfire.
Crossfire. You'll get caught up in it.
Add some coke in my cup. Give me some chicken, flakes, and fries. Living past me and lettuce, I'm a passing by.